Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, Amazon probably owes you money. Plus, Aly and I make our picks for a loaded football weekend. All that and more on the way next. Thanks for joining us on the RadioU Podcast. And, make sure you donate during the fall fundraiser. We can still use your help. Your donations keep RadioU going, and that includes this podcast. So at RadioU.com or the RadioU app is where you can donate. It is Friday, and that means Aly and I, we need to do our Football Friday picks. And we have a special, it's not a dual punishment, but we have a punishment that's different depending on who wins.
Yes.
So for me, if I win, Aly has to drink coffee, which she hates. She hates coffee. I've never seen you drink it.
Yeah, I've only tried it a few times, and every time it's not been for me.
And if you win, I have to do an entire show with no hat.
Yeah, I very rarely, maybe like twice, have seen you without a hat on. So I've constantly just thought that's a part of your head. It's just an attachment, you know?
Yeah, I'll have to think about what hairdo I want to come in with on Monday if somehow I lose.
Yeah, if you lose your picks, you're going to have to be ready.
And if you haven't been paying attention too, so we do 2 college, 2 NFL, and then 1 upset of our choosing. It has to be at least a 3-point underdog. Anytime we've agreed on a pick, I think
lost.
we've always been wrong.
Yeah, I looked it up because we mentioned that in our recap of our picks on Monday, where we were pointing out that, we both had picked Baltimore and they lost. And so we were like, shocker, shocker. We agreed upon a team and they, of course, lost. And then
we agreed on Utah last week.
Yeah, I went back and I looked, and it's sure enough, that's the truth. Anytime we agree on something, that team loses.
So we owe it to somebody that, like, whoever picks first, the other person just has to pick opposite.
I don't know if I'm willing to do that because I feel pretty firm in 4 out of 5 of my picks.
Okay. Let's start in college, where it is an absolutely insane week of games. And last week was pretty good, but this week's even better. These next 2 weeks, and really, like, from now until the end of the season, we're in conference play. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yes.
One of the biggest matchups every year, Alabama at Georgia. Who are you picking?
I am going with Georgia. They're at home. Alabama, I think they need this game probably more than Georgia because Alabama already has the loss. I think it's going to be close because, as Georgia showed you, they're not as dominant as maybe some had thought. They very easily could have lost to Tennessee, but that was on the road. So I think I'm going to go with the Bulldogs because they're at home.
I am really torn on this. I don't have a lot of conviction either way. If you remember last year, this was a back and forth game. Alabama won. It was that game where Ryan Williams had an insane touchdown to give them the lead.
Yeah.
And then I believe Alabama had gotten a big lead, and then Georgia came storming back, and then is when Ryan Williams scored that touchdown to put Alabama back in front and swing the momentum again, and Alabama won. I'm buying time here while I just make up my mind. Do I want to agree with you?
I know it's hard for you to pick against the home team.
Yeah, but I just like Alabama.
Okay.
I like Alabama. I like them to bounce back, but I won't be surprised. Here's my thing. It's definitely going to be high scoring. Neither of these teams have the typical defense that you expect from Alabama or Georgia. And so I think both quarterbacks are going to have a pretty good day.
Yeah, I was going to say Georgia really struggled to stop Tennessee at anything. So I think you're probably right on that. I think it'll be close, but high scoring. So probably similar scores to what we saw in Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah. So next up, we have Oregon at Penn State, which may even be a bigger game. I mean, they're both undefeated.
Yeah, a top 5 matchup. Huge. And big implications for who is going to win the Big Ten this year. So I'm going with Penn State. The game's in Happy Valley. But again, I think this is going to be a close one. I don't know if I'll go as high scoring as Alabama, Georgia, as we're thinking. But I've really struggled to get a handle on how good these teams are. Because if you just look at the opponents they've played so far this season, they haven't been much. They've all been pretty bad teams. And there's been a couple moments when Oregon's looked a little iffy on some, and Penn State's looked dominant throughout. So that's what's given me the edge there for Penn State.
I am picking Oregon. This one I had more conviction on because Oregon beat Penn State last year. Oregon's better than they were last year.
Okay.
That was at a neutral site, but Oregon has a better quarterback now than they did last year. And so I've seen some people saying this is the Penn State defensive coordinator that was at Ohio State last year that shut him down.
Yeah.
In the second game, but the first game, Oregon won versus Ohio State.
They were at home, though.
It's not like they don't know how to handle this. And it was way less that the defense was suffocating him more that Ohio State had Jeremiah Smith and was just open on offense just scored on every single offensive play for the first half. Penn State's not going to do that.
No.
This is going to be low scoring, like you said. This is going to be it's going to be like 17-13.
Yes.
And at the end of the game, I know it's on the road, but you trust Drew Aller to lead Penn State on a game-winning drive?
I don't trust Drew Aller, but also I don't trust Oregon. I really am having a hard time getting a feel for these teams. I didn't like what I saw from Oregon against Northwestern. I was a little disappointed with that.
Weren't they up like 28-0?
They ended up letting Northwestern score quite a few points
after
in
the
that
game was over.
I don't trust Oregon just yet. They haven't played anyone to show me that I can fully trust them to go in Happy Valley and beat Penn State in such a big game. And again, it's not that I trust Penn State. I just am giving Penn State the upper hand here because they've looked a little more dominant and they're at home.
Okay, let's move to the NFL. The Eagles are visiting the Bucks. Both of these teams are 3-0, but you could also say both of them are very fortunate to be 3-0.
Right.
Because they've had each of their games have come down to the last few minutes.
Yeah.
Which is typical in the NFL, but literally Baker Mayfield has led like a game-winning comeback drive for every single Bucks game this season. And the Eagles had to get a field goal block to win last week versus the Cowboys. That was a toss-up until the weather delay, and then just nobody scored after that.
Yep.
I forget who they played in the middle there, but that was a close game too.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember either.
Let's just move on and pick.
Anyways, was it the Chiefs that they played? Yeah,
it was the Chiefs. Yeah. Close game. Came down to the last few minutes.
Close game. Eagles won. I think they were on the road too. But anyways, I'm going with the Eagles. As I've said, I am believing in them to be undefeated when they head to play your Packers.
Okay. I'll pick the Eagles too because...
This is in Tampa Bay, by the way.
It is, but I think home field matters less in the NFL.
Yes, I agree.
And while I think the Eagles are not as good as they were last year, their offense has not looked as sharp, and it definitely didn't against the Rams for most of the game. The Bucs are dealing with a lot of injuries. And I
potentially
just think,
an injury to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and Mike Evans is out. They're running out of receivers, so I think while they're still a good team, it's just not their time this week versus such a tough matchup with the Eagles.
I think the magic runs out.
Okay, and then we have Ravens at Chiefs.
Speaking of how home field advantage might not matter much, I think I'm going with the Ravens with this one. This is a really hard one for me to pick because I feel like both of these teams desperately need this win. They're both 1-2, and the Chiefs at home, I would think, would be absolutely desperate to win. But I think we're starting to see the signs of a really rough, potential season from the Chiefs. Where, you're seeing bickering on the sideline. We've seen that before.
Oh, yeah, they do that every year.
We've seen it before, but there's something different about this team. There's something just not quite right about it. And so I think the Ravens are really going to want to bounce back from a bad game last week against Detroit. And so I think they're going to get the win on the road against the Chiefs.
Well, I'm picking the Chiefs because there's something different about this Ravens team versus the last few years, and that is their defense sucks. It's horrible. It's the worst in the league right now. I don't know if it'll stay that way, that it'll be that bad, but the Chiefs have had the reverse of what you say about the Eagles and Bucks of how they've won every close game, and they've kind of been maybe a little lucky. The Chiefs have been unlucky. They could have very easily beaten the Chargers. And even if they were 2-1, we'd think of them, it wouldn't be like, oh, it's the end of the dynasty.
No.
Whereas the Ravens have had 2 games now where they've just allowed a boatload of points and yards. And even against the Browns, that was a close game for a while, and the Browns don't have a great offense. And so I think the Chiefs offense maybe can get back on track here. Okay. At home, I think you got a better coach, better quarterback. So you got to pick the Chiefs.
Okay.
And now let's get to the upsets.
All right. For my upset, I wanted to go with a different game, but the spread's just not large enough for that one because apparently people must be betting hard on Ole Miss to have an upset over LSU. That's the one I was thinking of going with, but the spread's like 1 point. Complete toss-up.
Ole Miss is favored.
Yeah, right. One of them I saw Ole Miss was favored. One of them I saw Ole Miss is LSU's favored by 1.5. And
I think after everybody loved LSU, myself included, after week 1, since Clemson has looked so bad since then, that you have to take some points away from LSU.
Yeah, and
because that win is a lot less impressive.
I also think with how LSU played against Florida, where it was such a close game, even though Florida threw the ball away 5 times, I think that is not helping LSU either. But anyways, I can't pick that as an upset, obviously. Yeah. So I'm going with Mississippi State to upset Tennessee. I think Mississippi State is having a sneaky good season. They are 4-0. And I think they are going to continue the train going. They're at home, so I'm going to believe in Mississippi State, even though they're, I think, a 9-point dog.
I am going to go with Iowa versus Indiana.
You did go ahead and tease this one, I think.
Yeah, because Indiana, now they have to go on the road after the biggest possible win in their school's history, at least as long as anybody playing there has been alive. This is the biggest win they've ever had. That's hard to get motivated. Everybody's patting you on the back all week. And you have to go to Iowa, which is always tough. And while Indiana absolutely blew out Illinois, and that's impressive, I didn't think Illinois was that good. And so the transitive property is, even if you beat a team that's, you blow out a team that's okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna pump Indiana up too much.
Fair.
And so I just think I think that Iowa will be more prepared, and they're going to be ready for Indiana.
You think they can stop Indiana?
Yes, I do.
Because I was really disappointed with their defense against Rutgers.
Yeah, but
they gave up a lot.
Now they're at home, though, and they still won that game.
Yeah, but I mean, they gave up a lot. Like, it was way more high scoring than you would think for an Iowa game.
I think I just don't have. I'm happy that Indiana's doing well, but I just don't believe it. Okay. There's a lot of these teams that if I like to root for the underdog, but at the same time, when it's a non-traditional team, I can only buy in so much.
Yeah, fair.
And Indiana, Texas Tech.
Even the traditional teams were having trouble rooting for them and believing in them.
Right. So yeah, I'm gonna err. And Iowa's more traditional. Iowa home field advantage is always huge. So give me Iowa.
All right.
And we didn't even get to so many other games. It's going to be an amazing week for football. So and baseball too.
I know.
And the Ryder Cup.
I know. There's so much happening.
All right. Enjoy the weekend of sports. It's the RadioU Podcast. Get your popcorn ready. It's our Friday tradition, the weekend watch list, letting you know which movies are new that you could be watching in theaters and at home this weekend. We'll start with one I'm very excited about, One Battle After Another. Bob, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a washed-up revolutionary who lives in a state of stoned paranoia, surviving off-grid with his spirited and self-reliant daughter, Willa. When his evil nemesis resurfaces and Willa goes missing, the former radical scrambles to find her as both father and daughter battle the consequences of their pasts. Directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and is in theaters now. Manola Dargis of the New York Times says Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another is an exciting, goofy, and deadly serious big screen no. A no to complacency, to oppression, and to tyranny. I am very excited. Everything I've heard about One Battle After Another has been very positive. The trailer looks fun to me. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. What else do you want? But if that's not for you, maybe you want to go see Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, starring Kristen Wiig for some reason. When Gabby's Dollhouse, her most prized possession, ends up in the hands of an eccentric cat lady named Vera, that's Kristen Wiig, she sets off on an adventure through the real world to get the Gabby cats back together before it's too late. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, is now in theaters. It shockingly has a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, although Sandra Hall of the Sydney Morning Herald says, I can understand the film's appeal for young children, but if you're over 10, its relentlessly upbeat tone makes you feel as though you're being beaten over the head with a toy catalog. That's what's new in theaters. What's new at home this weekend? Ruth and Boaz is on Netflix. A singer leaves the Atlanta music scene and starts over in a small town in Tennessee where she finds love and new purpose but can't escape the past. It literally is a modern retelling of Ruth and Boaz from the Bible. It is so new. It just released on Netflix, so there are no reviews on Rotten Tomatoes yet. Finally, also on streaming this weekend, All of You starring Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso. When a new test matching soulmates together comes between two best friends, they spend the next 12 years trying to resist the urge to disrupt their paths. Their lives have taken despite the undeniable feeling they belong together. All of You is now on Apple TV+. It has a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Brandon Yu of the New York Times says All of You is a weepy, sweeping love story that knows full well that it's trying to be one, but it never succumbs to cheap execution. And all of that comes down to Brett Goldstein and Imogen Poots, the stars. That's what's new on streaming this weekend. Also, some movies that have already been out but are now on streaming. Megan 2.0 is on Peacock. The Surfer with Nicolas Cage is on Hulu. And Karate Kid Legends is now on Netflix. That is your weekend watch list. Let us know what you watched this weekend. We love hearing your reviews at 8772 Radio U. It's a much better way to use your money than, I don't know, investing in defunct brands like Dress Barn, Pier 1 Imports, and Radio Shack, which apparently many people were duped into doing. This story is so crazy. A company called Retail E-Commerce Ventures bought up all of these old stores that had gone out of business, like the ones we just mentioned, Models and Linens and things, and then tried to revive those brands. Along the way, they convinced a bunch of people to invest, that this was a good investment. But now they're being accused by the SEC of lying and running a Ponzi scheme, promising returns that never were delivered. And the more details that come out, the worse it looks. Like the COO of this company that had bought up all of these old brands had no resume to be doing this whatsoever. They were a substitute preschool teacher and radio station promotions assistant prior to becoming the COO of this company. So it sounds like they did have a PhD in grifting, though. But now it does seem like it's all come crashing down once again. I don't want to victim blame here, but I do have to question these people that did invest in this, because doesn't it just seem like Dress Barn, Pier 1 Imports, Radio Shack, they just went out of business. What was the pitch? Hey, you know how these companies weren't good enough to succeed 3 years ago? What if we brought them back now? What's changed? Why would you buy that? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I only can feel so bad for some of the victims of this that were using their money to be like, let's bring back Pier 1 Imports. Today is Football Friday. We are trying to score some touchdowns today. We're not just trying to get some goals. Goals are for, well, I guess that'd be hockey or soccer. Today's Football Friday. We're trying to get some touchdowns.
Wait, no, there is goals. There's a goal post. That isn't a football, right?
Yeah, and when they do say first and goal, second and goal. So I mean, there is even though it's called the end zone, it's also referred to as a goal. I don't know. Sparkle, and I'm a football expert. You maybe a little less, but I know even the people that dislike football the most still get pretty excited about football food.
Okay, well, hold on. I don't dislike it. I don't get it. But football food is the number one reason why I go to any football game, because I want all the food.
If somebody invites you, if we are having a RadioU tailgate or game day party after this, you would be like, okay, I'll come, but only if you have what?
Okay, it's my new favorite thing. I made it a couple days ago. I'm calling it buffalo dip flips because I made it up. But it's basically buffalo dip in a tortilla that you air fry, and it is so good.
Whoa.
I'm not joking. I ate 6 in a row. They're so good.
It's like a mini buffalo chicken quesadilla.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And it's like, I cleared this whole dish, and I'm making it again for another party on Saturday, and I cannot it's so hard not to eat them as I'm making them. So if you have this, I'm there.
I feel like that food is going to turn you into a football fan.
I mean, I do go to football parties, so by default, I am listening to football fans.
Do you make these into the shape of a football?
Into a paper football.
Oh, okay.
They're little triangles.
Yeah. Okay, That works. I appreciate the effort.
I'm a theme girl.
You got to fit in. Now, do you dip them in it? Is there like a dip that goes with it?
You can dip them in it, but I find either or good. You can do this little ranch situation.
That's what I was thinking. It sounds good with ranch. And I think you could branch out too, because there's a lot of dips I like. And so just containing the dip inside something else that's also edible, it kind of actually makes it sound less messy and easier to manage. So good. I don't know how you feel about crab dip, but I think crab dip in replacing the buffalo dip or some of each sounds really good too. Just
I don't like any seafood, but okay, I'm all about expanding different dips. So I'll see what I can do on that. See what I can do.
If you make crab dip flips, make sure you invite me to that game day.
Oh, Hudson, I will.
Happy Football Friday. We're all about the food, but we're also about getting Radio U fully funded, and we need your help. Get a donation in today, especially monthly are huge for us here at Radio U. Go to RadioU.com or open up the Radio U app to donate on Football Friday. Nene is here with me. Hello, Nene.
Hi.
Nene.
I am Nene, not Aly.
No, yeah, Ally's actually in Texas.
What?
Yeah, she went to Texas. You stayed here. How does that make sense? But Nene, I wanted you to see this. A man in Japan just broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest speed running on all fours.
What?
And
I feel like they'll just make a Guinness World Record about anything at this point. Well, but now I'm curious. How fast did he do it, and how far did he go?
This is what is confusing to me. He ran 328 feet.
That's it?
Who set that as the distance that needs to be run?
That's not even like a quarter of a mile or anything significant. That's just a random 328 feet.
Actually, fittingly, on a Football Friday, that's about a football field length.
Okay, so actually maybe that's exactly what he did. Maybe he was like at a football field and they brought the Guinness World Record people and then they're like blue suits and clipboards and said, all right, go the distance of this football field.
He ran the football field and then he went another 28 feet because he's like, he just was so excited.
Make sure.
Yeah.
He was like,
for good measure.
I made it. I'm going to see how much further I can go because, some people will break the world records. And so maybe he was running an extra 28 feet to set it a little further. Yep. So if someone got tired around feet 257, then they'd be like, I can't do what this guy did.
So how fast would you consider to run an entire football field? How fast would be fast to you, even on two legs?
On two legs?
Yeah.
I mean, people are running 40-yard dashes in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you do the math there, of course, that's football players doing that.
Right.
As a normal person like me, I could probably run a 40-yard dash in 6 seconds. So
100 yards.
I'm about to say, if we made it 50 yards, that'd be, let's say 7 seconds for 50, 14 for 100, add an extra 28 on there. I would say, let's just say right under 20 seconds.
20 seconds. You think two legs would be pretty impressive if he could do 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Now, that's just two. I would say double it for 4.
He ran 128 feet, or 328 feet, if you could even call it running. He galloped.
Of course he galloped. That's
328 feet.
That's what animals do on 4 feet.
In 14.5
14 seconds?
Yeah. So you translate that to his 40-yard dash. He could be in the NFL if he could play on all 4 legs.
Oh, my goodness. How did he... Listen, the crazy thing is this guy was probably practicing this.
He was training so much.
Can you imagine driving by a football field and seeing a man on all 4s running as fast as he can across a football field?
And he's running as fast as you're driving.
That's sad.
So
that's it. He kind of looks over and growls or barks at you or something.
Yeah.
And you just go right back to driving. That'd be creepy.
This man has to be so proud that he could do this.
I bet he is. He has a certificate.
He put it on his dating profile.
I'm sure he did that too, because that brother's single.
Nene, you're here. Aly is out today.
Yeah, she is. She going baby.
But it's convenient that you're here because
why?
We're squaring off this weekend.
What do you mean we're squaring off this weekend?
My Packers, your Cowboys.
Oh no!
Sunday night football.
Again.
Micah Parsons returns to Dallas.
Oh, please, no. I don't wanna... The last time we did this, we had videos going viral of me screaming about my Cowboy. I don't need this again.
I can't wait to see the demolition that Micah Parsons will do.
Okay. All right. So for context, last time the Cowboys and Packers played each other in the playoffs, we did this entire thing of content leading to the week of the game when it happened. And then the Cowboys got smacked at home by the Green Bay Packers. And I think there was this one portion of the clip that we had put out on socials, and it said, I can't wait to see the demolition that Dak will do.
Yeah.
And then he wound up throwing 3 picks and doing a whole bunch of disgusting things on the court.
I called it. I told you, I remember this, I'll never forget, that when we were talking about the game, I said he's going to throw a pick 6. And he did much more than that.
I'm just going to say this right now. I don't even think you believed that when you said it. No,
I did.
I really don't think you did. It just somehow managed to work out. And then, and then as soon as it hit socials, everyone was blowing up. I mean, dude, it was wild. So for Sunday night's game, here is my honest prediction. I don't think the Cowboys are going to win this game, but I do think it is going to be a close game. I'm saying we're going to lose 33-27.
I don't think the Cowboys can score nearly that many points. I think Micah Parsons is he's going to be anxious to show off in front of his ex now. He's going to be excited to show Dallas what they should have had. So I think the Cowboys are going to have a really rough go of it. And their defense has been bad without Micah Parsons, so I think the Packers run up the score a little bit.
Here's what I'm going to say to that. I don't know if you knew this, but last Sunday, the Cleveland Browns beat the good old Green Bay Packers. And in fact, the Packers only scored 10 points in that entire game. So you tell me, because I'm pretty sure the Browns are worse than the Cowboys.
I don't know about that.
Okay, they're on the same level then at this point this season. You tell me what game plan you think they're going to do to go in and beat Dallas when they couldn't even beat Cleveland.
Well, Dallas has one of the worst defenses in the league. Cleveland has one of the best. And I think the Packers stumbled last week because they were looking ahead to this game because they're so excited.
Well, that's on them for doing that.
Yeah, but that was a mistake last week, but it won't be a mistake this week. Maybe you can put your check from Amazon towards Radio U. I'm not talking about employees. Nene, are you ready to get a nice little check?
A nice check?
From Amazon?
Look, they're going to pay me?
They maybe.
How much
have you ever had a Prime subscription?
I mean, way back when, I'm sure.
Then you may be eligible for compensation. Amazon.
Sound like a commercial, and we don't do those here.
No, I don't. We don't. You don't need a lawyer or anything. The lawyering has already been done.
I'm listening.
Amazon has just agreed to what I guess is considered a settlement. They were sued by the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC.
For making got busted.
For making it too hard and confusing to cancel Prime subscriptions.
I won't lie. It did take me a while to find out how to cancel that.
Yeah, and you weren't alone. And so they were just recently, we talked about this on Radio U Mornings when this lawsuit came up, and now they've agreed to pay. So in total, Amazon is going to be paying back $2.5 billion.
I'm gonna get a $2.5 billion check.
Well, maybe not. How it works is they have to pay a $1 billion civil penalty.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a $1.5 billion check,
and then the other $1.5 billion is going to all the customers that were duped.
Whoa. Okay, wait a minute. So how many customers were duped? Because I know I'm one of them.
I mean, if I had to guess 1.5 billion, I don't...
Guys,
we all get $1.
If we are... Then what's the point? What's the point of getting a check if the check is a couple bucks?
I think it'll be more than that. I just literally I forgot this was happening. I honestly forgot I even signed up for it. Facebook was just sued for another thing about leaking your data. I don't even remember what it was for, but I do know that I was a Facebook user, and so they sent me my payment literally earlier this week. I got $37 from Facebook.
Hey!
Yeah. Being a Facebook user is finally paid off, baby.
Oh, my goodness. So what'd you spend the $37 on?
Donating to Radio U.
That's right!
Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
And verified checkmark on Twitter.
You're not.
I'm
You're not
kidding.
verified on
that'd be
Twitter,
funny,
are
though.
you?
No, I'm not. But
Besides, what's Twitter?
Yeah, that's right. But sooner or later, so here's what to expect. Sooner or later, everybody who's ever had a Prime subscription probably will get an email and or a letter from like somebody involved in this lawsuit. It was literally the FTC, literally the government did this.
Hey,
so
do you want free money?
yeah, they'll be sending stuff out and be like, you've been named in this blah, 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 blah. And then you just probably have to give them your PayPal or something. And eventually, a couple of years from now, you'll get a few bucks
couple of years from now,
from
you'll
Amazon
get $25.
It's going to pay off. But hey, at least Amazon's being held accountable for making it so difficult to cancel subscriptions years after the fact.
I didn't care at all before, but knowing that I can get $25, I all of a sudden care. They should be brought down.
$25 if you're lucky. Nene, if you ever go to the town of San Rafael in California,
okay,
what you might see is a bunch of signs posted that would say, "Attack squirrel, beware."
Attack squirrels?
Yes.
Okay, I can go and attack a squirrel.
No. Attack squirrel. You know, like some people have an attack dog.
Oh.
But there's an attack squirrel.
Wait, you're telling me there's squirrels that attack people?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
It's a squirrel.
Well, as literally one of the women that was attacked by this squirrel said, if a squirrel was biting down on your arm, how would you get it off?
Okay, well, here's the thing. If I was being attacked by a squirrel and I lived to tell the tale, I would make every single excuse necessary to make it seem like that squirrel was the worst thing on planet Earth and the scariest thing ever.
So that's what you're saying this old lady is doing.
I personally just think that she's just trying to cover this up to make it seem like she didn't just get attacked by a squirrel, and that's just you got attacked by a squirrel.
Do you think you could outrun a squirrel?
What do we need to outrun a squirrel?
If it was coming at you, about to attack you,
run from a squirrel. It's a squirrel. I'd flick it.
So then you'd let it attack you, and then it'd be latched onto your arm, and then what would you do?
It, and then that'd be the end of the story. It's a squirrel.
Listen, tell that to
drop kick
the 5 people,
choke it or something.
5 people in San Rafael, California have been attacked by a squirrel recently.
5 people.
2 of them had to go to the hospital, and I have
I have a squirrel
video of one of the lady's wounds, and it is very bad.
Okay, well, don't turn the TV around so I can see the picture.
Okay, I won't show you. I won't show you. But the squirrels have gone haywire in San Rafael, California.
Why are they going haywire?
Some of the wildlife experts suggest that it's because people feed squirrels.
I feel like everyone's fed a squirrel before. What makes this any different?
They claim that the squirrels, when you feed them, then they become not afraid of humans, and in fact, expect food from all humans. So when they see one and the human doesn't give them food, then they attack because they're mad.
Okay.
That you're not feeding
We got
them.
deer crawling behind RadioU that I'm sure have been fed before in this neighborhood. So are they going to come and attack me when I walk out to my car?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I buy this explanation because I've never heard of squirrels attacking people before, and people have fed squirrels for years. And what about ducks? How come ducks aren't attacking all people?
Yeah, I'm like,
now that we're not supposed to give them bread anymore.
Just kidding. That's a commercial. We don't play those at RadioU.
Yeah. So I don't know what but like, how could you defend against the squirrel? How would you? These people are afraid to leave their homes because of this.
Over a squirrel?
If you saw these wounds, you would understand.
Okay, maybe I should be a little bit more sympathetic here. But a squirrel. Oh, this is like something out of a movie. A squirrel.
A bad horror movie.
Oh, I could see
Attack
this like
of the Killer Squirrels.
Like Attack of the Killer Squirrels. Oh. It'll be on a what's some like
Tubi.
Off-brand, Tubi.
It's totally
what's
coming
some
to
really
Tubi.
off-brand like streaming service where a movie like that would be on?
Imagine walking all by yourself and a squirrel attacks, and then you die alone. Donate in the RadioU app for RadioU.com and the fall fundraiser.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.